Yes, good morning, students, and welcome to the recap session. And as you know, today is the recap session for e-filing. So we have with us here Rashmi ma'am. Good morning, Rashmi ma'am, and a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You may please start the session, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning, all. Uh, Welcome to the recap session. We studied in detail on different topics. We had a discussion on all the topics. We'll just recap now. Initially, we started with PAN. What is PAN? Permanent account number, and how to apply it online. What is its use? Where do we use? What is the requirement to apply a PAN? All these things we saw in the earlier classes. It's a very simple procedure. So we saw all about EPAN importance. Then what are the various steps for applying online? Then how to register in the e-filing portal. So this is how a PAN card looks like. We saw the structure of the PAN card. It's a combination of, it's a unique card, unique number. It's a combination of your alphabets as well as numerals. The first three digits, alphabets. Then P stands for individual. In case of a firm, it will be F, the fourth letter. And this will be the first letter of the surname. Supposingly, Ashwini Joshi, then J. J is the starting letter of the surname Joshi. So that will be J. And this is the four numbers. And the last one will be again the alphabet. This fourth letter will differ. In case of individual, it will be P, company, C, A is association, F is firm, H for HUF, and T for trust. So why do we require a PAN card? Where all it is compulsory, we saw in case of a purchase of motor vehicle or vehicle other than two-wheel vehicles. In case you're going to buy a car, then the vendor will ask you for the PAN card. And suppose you go and deposit some money in the bank, one-time deposit, bank or a post office, they'll ask you for a PAN card. And again, in case of applying for a debit or credit card, the PAN is mandatory. Then opening of Demat account. Of late, everybody is investing in shares. So if you want to open a Demat account, PAN card is compulsory. And any amount of cash deposit exceeding 50,000, again PAN is compulsory. And in case of amount payment in cash exceeding 50,000 to a hotel or a restaurant, again PAN is compulsory. Then for acquiring bonds, you have paid more than 50,000, amount exceeding 50,000 to RBI for acquiring bonds. Or payment to any company or institution for acquiring debentures exceeding in excess of 50,000 rupees. Or in case you're invested in any mutual funds during the previous year, which exceeds 50,000, quoting of PAN is compulsory in all these cases. Then in case of cash purchase during a day, in case of bank drafts or pay orders, such cases, quoting of PAN is compulsory. Suppose you buy a demand draft and the value is, face value is more than 50,000. In such cases, quoting of PAN is compulsory. Then again, as discussed, in case of time deposit exceeding 50,000, within all these cases, like in whether it's a banking company or a cooperative bank, or if you go to a post office and deposit, make a time deposit, then quoting of PAN is compulsory. Or either you go to NBFC again, wherever you go and deposit your money, Quoting of PAN is compulsory. Then any life insurance premium, you're making payment which is in excess of 50,000 during the previous year. Again there, quoting of PAN is compulsory. And a contract of sale or purchase of securities exceeding 1 lakh per transaction. Other than shares, it can be any security, it can be bond, debentures, anything which exceeds 1 lakh rupees. In all such cases, quoting of PAN is compulsory. Then in case of sale or purchase of by person of shares of a company which is not listed in a recognized stock exchange exceeding rupees 1 lakh per transaction. In case you are going to sell the shares of a company which is not listed in the stock exchange, either they are NSE or BSE, in such cases, and the transaction limit is exceeding more than 1 lakh. In such cases, quoting of PAN is compulsory. In other cases, if it is a registered shares, listed in the recognized stock exchange, it will be automatically reflected in your Demat account. And in case of sale or a purchase of immovable property exceeding rupees 10 lakh, in such cases, quoting of PAN is compulsory. Suppose you buy a house or sell a house, so quoting of PAN is compulsory. Then sale or purchase of goods, apart from the above specified, it can be any goods or service in such more than what's the cap is 2 lakh per transaction. Say you render a software service which exceeds rupees 2 lakh per transaction, the invoice you need to compulsorily quote your PAN number. So in all these cases, it is required to quote your PAN number. Having seen where all it is required, where you need to quote it compulsorily, we'll see how to apply for a PAN card. You have to log into the income tax website. Your website will look like this once you log in. On the left hand side, you can see all these. You can click on Instant ePAN. Once you click on that, it will take you to the next page where there are two tabs. Get a new ePAN or check status or download. Since you're applying afresh, you'll have to click on Get New ePAN. Once you click on New ePAN, there's a page. The page will be displayed like this. You can do it very easily if you have an Aadhaar card, Aadhaar number, and you have to enter your 12-digit Aadhaar number and confirm. Then you get a OTP. Enter the OTP and click on Continue. There's an OTP where 6-digit OTP you get. So when each step is completed, you get a green tick like this. You entered your Aadhaar number, OTP you also successfully entered. It is validated. Then validate Aadhaar details. Your personal data will be appearing here based on Aadhaar. You have to check and validate it once. Cross-check before submitting, validating. Once you have validated, you have to select and update. Because whatever details are available in Aadhaar, the same thing will be appearing in the PAN. So you have to be very careful while going through that. Once everything is done, everything will be appearing in green with a tick mark. And you get a message like this. Your request for ePAN has been submitted successfully and acknowledgement number is so. You can take a screenshot of this for your later reference. And even an SMS will be sent to the registered mobile number. Generally, it will be allotted in 3 working days if all the details are fine. Then how to download? You can download it online. Again, you have to log into the income tax website, e-portal. Then now, since you've already applied, you can click on the check the status. Click on continue. can enter your Aadhaar number and click on continue to search the status to know what is the status. Again, you get a OTP for this to the registered mobile number, whatever initially mobile number, whatever you would have given at the time of applying the PAN. Then click on that. Then you can see here whether it is pending or here it says request for new PAN. It is just submitted. Once everything is done, you click on view PAN. If it is allotted, you can view it. You can click. There's a other option also to download the ePAN. It will be PDF protected, and the password to open is PDMM YY format. The date of birth, suppose it says 21st of September. So without any special characters in between, this is the password to open the PAN, ePAN. So once you've got the PAN is allotted to you. Next step is we'll see how to register in the e-filing portal. You can register yourself here. You can log into the website incometaxefiling.gov.in. There's a page. The page will appear like this once you log in. So there'll be two options, login and register. Since you are doing it afresh, you have to click on select register. Once you select register, it will ask whether you are a taxpayer or others. In case you are a agent or a professional, you have to click on others. Since you are registering as a taxpayer, click on taxpayer, enter your PAN, whichever is allotted, ePAN, click on continue. Once you click on continue, this is the page will be displayed. Your last name, surname, all these details should be entered as per your PAN. Like at the time of application of PAN, what are the details you entered? The same details need to be entered. The same should be your last name and first name. You enter all the required details. Once you enter all these details, this postal address, all the details, your contact, your mobile and your email address, everything. For registration, you have to create a password as well. User ID, by default, it is the PAN number. It is always the PAN number. Password is a combination of special characters, numerals, and alphabets, along with a capital letter. Once you have created, you registered, you get a OTP. You receive OTP to your mobile as well as email. You have to enter the 6-digit OTP. Once you enter the correct details, this is the creation of password. You have to submit. It will take some time to get activated for the account to activate. You can set your personal message as well as here. Whatever you set as a message will appear once you log into the income tax portal. So this is all about the registration in the income tax portal. By default, always the user ID is the PAN number. Only you should be careful with your password. In case you forget also, you can retrieve it later. So as of now, we have seen what is a PAN card, where all it is required, how to apply, and once you get a PAN card, how to register yourself in the how to register the new PAN in the income tax portal. What do you understand by e-filing? We have earlier discussed this topic in detail. E-filing is nothing but the electronic filing of the income tax returns. And there are different ITRs for different categories based on the head of income. There are so many criteria. We have to select the relevant ITR for us. We saw in detail from ITR 1 to 4. And for whom all it is mandatory. In case of individual or HUF, it is mandatory to file income tax return. And where the accounts are required to be audited under section 44AB. What does this section mean? It means your tax audit. There's a criteria, turnover criteria for that. More than 2 crores will come under. Suppose a businessman has a turnover of more than 2 crores during the previous year, then he has to get his accounts audited by a qualified chartered accountant under section 44AB, and as such he is required to file his return of income. Then again, where A is not applicable, in the sense where tax audit is not applicable. In other cases also, individual is required to file ITR, where the return is furnished in form ITR 3. This is for professionals and business people. Then, or in ITR 4, then individual or being a resident, not ordinary resident, has assets or financial interest in any entity located outside India. Suppose a resident in India having a property in Dubai or London, he needs to file ITR and disclose his income from outside India. Then in case of any relief, you're going to compute any relief for that. Either it can be under section 90 or 90A. Relief is generally in case of salaried class of people. Filing of ITR is compulsory. Then all these sections where it is applicable, the SC is required to furnish audit report under all these sections. Such cases, filing of ITR is compulsory. And where the income exceeds 5 lakhs rupees in case of, or any refund is claimed. In case of normal individuals, super senior citizen here, meaning more than 80 years of age. So other than them, all are required to file the return. Super senior citizen, they'll be furnishing in ITR 1 or ITR 2. DAC is not mandatory for regular filing. It is only compulsory in case of companies, partnership firms, or in case of tax audits. Individuals are required to have valid digital signature certificate. Otherwise, it can be verified through EVC, electronic verification code, wherein you receive a OTP to the registered mobile number with the Aadhaar while applying for the Aadhaar. Then in case of compulsory, it is in case of company, it is DSC is compulsory. And in case of a political party, ITR 7 is applicable and DSC is compulsory. As I discussed, in case of firm or limited liability partnership, DSC, EVC or ITR 5. What does this mean? You have to take the acknowledgement, sign it and send it physical copy to the CPC, Central Processing Department, Central Processing Cell. Then appeal to the Commissioner in Forms 35. In Form 35, there also, again, you have to compulsorily register on the portal. And even you have to complete your ITR to appeal for the Commissioner. 15 CAA is the payment made to foreign company. So there are, so we have seen which all the cases where e-filing is required. Then types of e-filing. What are the various types of e-filing? E-filing without using a DSE, filing through e-return intermediary, and e-filing using DSE or EVC. Without DSE, you have to generate ITR file and send it to the CPC. And in case you are using, you're verifying the return with the OTP, then you need not send the physical copy. Types of e-verification we have seen. EVC, upload the return, generate EVC and enter the EVC and submit. That's it. You get the acknowledgement. Then you can use the net banking option also. Then through Aadhaar EVC. Just a process flowchart. How to e-file. If you have a user ID password, yes, you can log in, download the utility, update the form, review. Then in case of any error or difficulty, you'll have to review. Otherwise, generate XML, attach and upload the XML file. Click on submit. This is a flowchart of how to upload a return. We have seen the utility. You can download it from the income tax website in the download section. The utility is either in the form of Excel or Java. There are two utilities. You can use any one of them. In case you're not using DAC or EVC, you'll have to print ITR file and submit to the income tax department. You'll have to physically send it by post. This is a process flow of filing the ITR. Then we saw in detail in the previous classes how to e-file an income tax return. Various ITR forms we saw for whom it is applicable. ITR 1, ITR 2, 3, 4, 5. We have seen all these till ITR 7, but we had a detailed discussion till ITR 4. And these are the system requirements. While downloading the software, you can just see whether your system is compatible. That's it with regard to your PAN and ITR, how to register yourself and what's the process flow of ITR. Hope so much is clear. We'll move on to the next topic, where we discussed in detail about the various ITRs, for whom which ITR is applicable. We discussed in detail from ITR 1 to 4. So individual income comprises of income from salary, house property, profits and gains of business or profession, then capital gain, then other source. All these are the 5 heads of income. And chapter 60 deductions, you're all aware from 80C to 80U. And tax rate in old and new regime. New regime is nothing but 115 BAC, wherein you cannot, once you opt for 115 BAC, you cannot get any deductions. No chapter 60 deductions will be applicable, including the standard deduction 50,000 which you get for salaried people. That will also not be available in case you opt for the new regime. The rebate is available if the income is less than 5 lakhs. Who is responsible to file ITR? All these people are responsible. Any person who's received an income more than 2,50,000, because 2,50,000 is the up to 2,50,000 it is exempt. So slab starting. Then payment for electricity bill more than 1 lakh, deposited more than 1 crore in one or more current accounts, spent more than 2 lakhs on overseas travel. If a person is spending more than 2 lakh rupees of overseas travel and he has not filed ITR in the previous year, he is responsible to file ITR. Then claim of income tax refund. If you want to claim somebody is deducted tax, supposedly take you have some fixed deposits and you have not submitted form 15G to the bank, so they deduct tax. Though your income is less than the basic exemption limit, that is less than 2,50,000, in order to claim the refund, you'll have to file the income tax return. Then in case for all bank loans, return filing will be, supposing you want to avail a bank loan. So what the bank will ask, have you filed your ITR? 2 years ITR is compulsory for availing bank loan. In all these different sources of income, people who have all these sources are required to file return of income. So we'll see who is eligible for ITR 1. Who can use this ITR 1 form, where the assessee's total income does not exceed 50 lakhs and he has income from only these 3 sources: income from salary or pension, from one house property, or interest income or any other family pension taxable and under other sources. Only person having all these things can use ITR 1. Who cannot file ITR 1? Person having more than 50 lakhs, then who is not a ordinary resident, who is a director, he cannot use ITR 1, and who is invested in or who holds unlisted equity shares during the financial year cannot use this form. And individual who has earned income from more than one house property, lottery, race horses, gambling, and who is having agricultural income exceeding 5,000 and having business and income or professional income cannot use ITR 1. So only these people can use ITR 1. Can just go through a couple of times. We've already done all these things in detail. Note the various documents required for filing ITR. Form 16 issued by the employer. Then 26A is nothing but a summary of the amount your TD is deducted. Then receipts in case you are not able to submit proof of certain exemptions, such as HRA allowance and all. You require receipts, your owner's receipt you require in case of HRA. Then PAN card is mandatory. Bank investment certificates. All these are mandatory for filing the ITR. This is all nothing but the tax rates. You can just go through these tax rates. These are tax slabs. Old and new regime. And for different category, what is the amount? Less than 60 years, 2,50,000 is the starting threshold slab. From 2,50,000 it will start. And then more than 60 years, 3 lakhs is the basic exemption limit. In case of super senior citizens, that is more than 80 years, 5 lakhs. Up to 5 lakhs it is exempt. These are instructions to fill your ITR. This we'll see it here in detail. These are the different exemptions from salary income, your LTC, then earned leave, HRA. For this, you need to study all the 5 heads of income in detail. Income from salary and standard deductions. Now it is 50,000 and professional tax will be separate apart from 50,000. Whatever is remitted by the employer. Then income from house property. It will be your gross rent. Then any tax paid to the municipal authority will be allowed as a deduction. And 30% is a standard deduction will be allowed for repairs and maintenance. In case of any arrears or unrealized rent, that also you need to show it within current year. which is having 30% reduction. Standard deduction is available for this also. The section 24. The resultant of all these will be your income from house property. Then this is income from other source. What all it comprises of? It comprises of your savings bank, interest from deposit, income tax, interest on income tax refund. What is this? Suppose during the last year you filed your return of income for and the net result was a refund of 60,000. The department, what does it do? It will take some time to process. It will not immediately process the refund. For that period, whatever return filed and whatever the process will happen when you get a refund, till that time, income tax department will pay interest on the refund amount. That again will be income from other sources for the next year when you are going to file the return. Then family pension is all coming under income from other source. And here you get a standard deduction. What's the deduction? Section 57, 1/3 of the family pension is your deduction available. So all these things comprise of your gross total income, salary, house property, and income from other sources. And there will be a separate exempt income category. We need to mention your exempted income. For example, you have received a gift from your relative, your mother, say in the previous year. That is an exempted income, which you need to show it here in the exempted income tab. And all these deductions you need to go through in detail, 80C to 80U. Chapter 6A deductions. You need to compare all this with the 26As, the TDS and all. You have to cross check with the 26As. This is nothing but your computation of income. This is how you can either use the offline utility or online. You can do it online also, ITR1. You can download it from the download section in the e-filing portal. There's a common utility from ITR 1 to 4. 5 to 7 is different. You can download this. Once you download, there'll be a zip file will be downloaded. You can unzip. This is how it looks. ITD filing setup. You have to open and click on install. Once you click on install and open, this is how this page will appear. You have to click on file returns. You can download the pre-filled data if you're not a first-time filer of ITR. The previous data will be available, like basic data, your name, address, and all will be. You can download instead of typing it again. Then click on continue. You have to enter your PAN and select the assessment year. Assessment year for 21-22 will be 22-23. For the current year, 22-23 assessment year, 23-24. Then you have to click on login using your, by default, always login user ID is your PAN number. And you have to enter the password which you have created at the time of registering the PAN. And click on file return. You have to select whether you're individual, HUF, others. You need to choose ITR 1, 2, whichever is applicable for you. To click on that and say, let's get started. Click on that. All these information will be available. You need to just confirm once. Nature of employment also you need to choose based on what you're doing. And if return is filed well before due date 139(1) or the relevant one, whichever is applicable for you. So once you All these things will be appearing in the website. You have to check once and click on confirm. Once you click on confirm on the each tab, it will be appearing in highlighted in green with a tick mark. This is for online filing. Of salary income, this is how it will appear. Come from house property, income from other sources. This will give you the gross total income. Once you check all these things, enter and give confirm. These are all the deductions. You have to see whichever is relevant. You have to select the one that is relevant. You say yes or say no. This is the TDS tab. So once you are done with all these, it will show you the interest fee payable, everything. You have to click on confirm. It will take you to the once you have filled everything, each tab it will say confirmed with a green tick, highlighted with a green tick. Then say proceed. When everything is confirmed, you can proceed. You have to validate the return, confirm your return summary and submit. There's an option to preview return. A PDF will be generated. Once you click on preview, you can just view. Once you have downloaded the PDF, there'll be no errors. There are no errors, then only you can verify and submit. Just click on this box, tick on that, and you have to submit. Just again the same thing, how you are going to do it directly in the portal. Once you log in, all these things will appear. Just you can select file now. And rest of the procedure is similar to the one we discussed now, using the schema which you downloaded from the IIT website. Using that software you can do, or else you can directly log in and do online in the income tax portal. That is all about ITR1, ITR2, to whom all it is applicable. For a person having income, salary or pension, then one house property. More than one house property, you have to compulsorily use ITR2. Then having income from capital gains or loss on sale of investments, all these people have to use ITR2. Income from other sources, foreign assets. Suppose you have foreign assets, you cannot use ITR1. And this is similar to ITR1. Either you can use the schema which you downloaded from the income tax portal, or you can do it online. These you should keep it handy. You should compute and keep it handy. Case of house property, all these details you should have it in hand to enter. For example, your municipal tax paid receipt, everything you should keep it due. Then this is about capital gains, where all it is applicable. It can be anything arising from sale or transfer of different types of capital assets. Maybe your land, building, your shares. Suppose you sell your shares during the previous year, that you need to enter here. So there are various details. They're asking you when it was acquired, the date before, was it before January? So all these details you have to keep it ready to enter in the, if you're doing it online, then income from other sources, as we discussed, various sources, family pension, savings bank, post office investments. Then your dividend income, everything will be displayed here. You have to enter here in income from other sources. This is current year's loss adjustment. Then in case of any brought forward loss, that adjustment, that tab is also there. You need to confirm that. AMT is alternate minimum tax. That also, if it is applicable, you need to check once, then cross check. Then any exempted income, as we were discussing, any agricultural income or any gift you received, all those things you can mention in exempted income. Or suppose you have received any maturity proceeds of your insurance, all those become your exempted income. So ITR 2 is done, similar to ITR 1 only. The only thing is your different heads of income will differ. Again, this is using the utility they've shown here. If it is applicable, you fill in the balance sheet and all these things. Otherwise, you can. No account cases, you can say, and enter the total. Sundry debtors, creditors, everything here. So whatever is applicable, you'll have to see and fill accordingly. Other income, yes. That's it with regard to. All these things, there are different tabs. If it is whatever is applicable, you have to check the relevant one. This is the depreciation schedule. So whether the person has assets, in case you're doing it for a company or a proprietary concern where they have assets, depreciation schedule, you need to enter details. Then chapter 6A deductions. These things you have to fill in and say confirm. AMT you have to cross check. Once you have done with all these, it will take you to the once your total income is also computed, you can download the JSON and you can attach by uploading the form. Either you can do online, or in case you are doing it from the utility which you have downloaded from the website, the common utility which we saw. Such case, you have to download the JSON and you can upload the same JSON file while filing your return. So we saw ITR 1, 2, 3, and we'll move on to 4. Who is required to file ITR 4? Any individual or HUF who is having income from business or profession. 44 AD, AE, this is retail business. This is your transportation business, goods transport agency business, this from profession. All these sections you need to go through in detail. Then any person having salary or pension income up to 50 lakhs, then income from one house property up to 50 lakh, then income from other sources up to 50 lakhs. But what are the exclusions? In case he's having winning from lottery and income from other horse races, he cannot use ITR 4. And in case of brought forward loss or carry forward loss also, in case of house property, he cannot use ITR 4. Then again, we see who is not required to file ITR 4. Individual having salary, income, house property or above rupees 50 lakhs cannot use this form. An individual who is either a director and is invested in unlisted equity shares, all these people will have to use ITR 3. They cannot use ITR 4. And what are the documents required for filing ITR 4? Form 1626 says all these things are compulsorily required. In case of any donations, receipts of donation made along with the PAN number of the donee. This is the structure of ITR 4. General information is required in all ITRs. You have to just see or go through that and just confirm. It will all be available in the income tax website. Data will be readily available. You have to just confirm once. Then presumptive taxation, wherein books of accounts will not be maintained and a certain percentage based on the turnover will be offered as income. 8% or 6% based on the criteria of receiving payment. So we saw these. This all the same with all the ITRs. Your tax paid, all these tabs will be same. You'll have to just see, check once and click on confirm. Once you are clicking on confirm, either you can download the JSON file. Then if you say proceed, it will take you to the preview file and you can download the preview file also. It will be a preview of PDF will be generated. Then when there are no errors, only preview will be generated and you can select on verify and upload the return. I think it is clear now. So far we have discussed about PAN, then how to apply for e-PAN, how to register in the e-filing portal, then who are all required to file return of income, what is e-return, what are the different types of ITR, ITR 1, 2, it is up to 7 ITRs are there, but we discussed in detail from ITR 1 to 4. For whom all ITR 1 is applicable, who is required to file ITR 2, ITR 3 and ITR 4. We discussed in detail. Hope so much is clear. We'll move on to TDS, the next module. What is tax deducted at source? We discussed in detail. We had a detailed discussion earlier. You remember who is required to deduct tax at source? It is nothing but a payment which is deducted while suppose you take an employer and employer. Employer deducts tax at source from the employee and remits it to the government. Remits the tax to the government. The employee has to file his return and claim that TDS. In case any refund is there, he'll get the refund or it will be adjusted to the tax liability. So what are the types of payment covered on TDS? Salaries, interest payment by banks, then commission payments. Commission payments example like LIC agents and all get commission. Then rent payments, consultation fees, professional fees, are all these payments covered under TDS. There's a various threshold limits and the rates. For salary, it is 2,50,000 being 2,50,000 being the basic exemption limit. Any amount of salary more than 2,50,000 will be subject to TDS, and this is a slab rate. There is no fixed percentage because if the salary is 10 lakhs, if the income crosses 10 lakhs, the slab rate will be 30,000. It comes under the 30% tax bracket. So based on the amount of salary, the slab rate will be, the rate of TDS will be fixed. They deduct the TDS based on the amount of salary. Then interest of securities, it is 7 dividend. In case dividend exceeds more than 5,000, then 7.5%. So all these things you can go through in detail. It is available in the material. And in case of payment of rent, suppose the individual is paying rent more than 2,40,000. In that case, he has to deduct TDS and remit it to the government, and the owner can claim by filing the return of income. So what is the basic thing required? Like how PAN is there for us to file the ITR. Similarly, TAN, it is also a unique number. TAN is required. TAN stands for tax reduction and collection account number. This is the structure of the TAN. First three alphabets is your ROC code. Then initial of name. Then this is the unique numerals combination. And the last letter is again your alphabet. Failure to code TAN can result in penalty of 10,000 rupees, where all it is required. Why TAN is required? In order to file the TDS or TCS statement or return. And for issue of TDS or TCS certificates, challan for payment or TDS certificates, then statement of financial transactions. So here all TAN is required. Who can apply for a TAN? Any employer is paying salary. Suppose a company is hired 10 people as employees, so they have to get a TAN number and do the regular TDS process and file the regular TDS returns. In case of firms and sole proprietor, if the turnover crosses more than 2 crores, they have to apply for TAN and subject to deduct TDS on payment made to other people. Say for example, a proprietor has having 5 crores of turnover and has made payment of 50 or 60,000 to a professional. More than 30,000, payment to professional is subject to TDS. So the proprietor is required to deduct tax at source. You can do it online. It's a very simple process. You have to log into the TIN website, NSDL website. This is how the page looks like. And you have to apply for new TAN. Click on that. This is all a simple procedure. You have to select what's the entity type, individual, all those things you need to select. All these you have to fill in, organization name, select the AO code. This all will be available here only. You have to select whichever is relevant for you. Once you have filled in everything and made payment also, you have to use this CAPTCHA and submit. You can do the payment through net banking. This is all about the payment, how you can make. We have discussed all these things in the earlier classes in detail. can click on submit. Your application will be, you have to send it to the address mentioned there. Once you submit it online, acknowledgement will be generated and TAN will be generally allotted within 5 or 10 working days. So once you've got the TAN and you're deducting regularly tax and making payment also, regularly tax for the employees or whatever payments you're making to the vendors or other professionals, and you're making payment, then what is the obligation? You have to file returns. Again, there are quarterly returns and monthly returns. Generally, for quarterly returns, there's a software using which you need to fill in all the details and upload. Yeah, for that, you have to go to the tinnsdl.com website and download the RPU utility. Here it will be available. This is how it looks. Yes, click on this. It will be downloaded. You can save it in some folder. You can extract it. This is how it looks. Once you click on this RPU file, there will be various forms. You select the relevant form for you. 24Q is for salaried and 26 is generally for other than salary. 27Q for non-resident payment. So relevant form you have to select. Whether it is a regular or correction form. If you're doing it first time, it's a regular form. Within time, it will be a regular form. And you have to enter the TAN number. All these details we discussed. What is to be entered? All these tabs to be filled. Form, challan details. Every month you make payment. You get that in the challan details. You have to fill in. Then annexure deductee details. The deductor has to enter the deductee details. You can add n number of rows. This is how it will appear. You have to enter the challan details here. And there's an option to correct also. This we discussed in the old task challan. If it is in case of PAN or TAN also, in case you quoted a wrong PAN or TAN, it is possible to correct within 7 days from the deposit of challan date. So there's an option to correct, make corrections in case there's a mistake has happened. We discussed in detail all these things. What's the details we enter in each tab? So once everything is entered, excuse me, enter valid 10-digit PAN number of the deductee. Then in case there is PAN is not available, you'll have to say PAN not available or PAN applied. But it is always better to take the PAN number before deducting TDS. See, all these things you have to fill in. This is for the filing of TDS return. This is the different 27 EQ. This was salaried people. Where you are doing form 27, 24Q. Such cases, even the deduction details to be entered. There will be option for that. You have to enter in detail for each employee. So once everything is done, you'll have to save the file. Once you've entered the required details, you'll have to save the file. You have to select the path where your FAU file needs to be saved. You have to select the path. Before that, you have to import the CSI file. Where can you get the CSI file? It can be downloaded from the Challan status inquiry available in the TIN website. What is the CSI file? It is nothing but the monthly payments whatever you make for the TDS, the Challan remitted. All those details will be imported directly from the TIN website. Though you have entered, again it will cross-check. Once you import from here, it will be cross-checked. So you import that file and the output file you have, path you have to select. On successful passing validations, a QEV form will be generated. In case there is an error file, you have to check what is the error and go make the corrections, then again regenerate it. And you can, we were discussing earlier, you can correct it. For the correction, you have to select the correction. You have to click on this and proceed further. In case you have made any mistake. So this is all about the TDS return. How you are going to download the RPU utility from the TIN website and fill the relevant details. So what the details required? Your Challan details and your deductee details, deductee PAN number, how much amount was paid. So it is whatever every month you're going to make payment of TDS remit to the government. You should have a Excel working monthly data sheet should be there. For particular, in case it's an employment for employees, you're deducting separate tab for that. For professionals, separate tab. So you have to have different workings for Excel working so that it is easy to enter here. This is all about the TDS return. We'll move on to the next. Hope the TDS return is clear. Filing of TDS return. GST. So as of now, we've discussed about PAN, how to apply for PAN, ePAN, then registration in the e-filing portal. We discussed about various ITRs 1 to 4, to whom all it is applicable. What are the different heads of income? How to file it online or using the utility, how to upload the return. You can generate the XML and upload. Then we discussed about TDS, to how to apply for TAN. Online you can apply. Then the quarter, your returns 24Q, 26Q, how to fill in using the RPU utility, and you have to import the CSI file. Once you get the 27 file, you can either take it to the TIN center, your TIN facilitation center, or now you can offload. There's a provision to do it online in the income tax website. You can directly upload. But for that, you should have registered using your TAN number. Now we'll move on to GST. What is GST? Goods and Service Tax. So one nation, one tax we discussed in the earlier classes, where various threshold, what's the threshold limit for taking registration in different states? There are different threshold limits. And what is the good subject for GST tax rates? In case of goods more than 40 lakhs, if it crosses 40 lakhs turnover, you have to take registration. In case of services, it is 20 lakhs. And in case of other states, we discussed it is 10 lakhs. Also in some cases, Mizoram, Manipur and all, it is 10 lakhs. We discussed all these things in detail in the previous sessions. Then composition tax. Who can opt for composition where the trader or manufacturer is having turnover of 1.5 crore? Then restaurant service. We discussed where court is applicable, where in in which all cases composition is required, where you cannot differentiate. In case of, take for example, restaurant service, it is very difficult to differentiate the amount of service, and restaurant service includes your meal service as well. So very difficult to bifurcate. In such cases, it will be COT, composition scheme, where a fixed percentage will be levied as your tax on the turnover. We saw where all GST composition, for whom it's applicable. Tax audit, for GST audit, what's the threshold limit? More than 5 crores during the financial year, they'll be subject to GST audit. We saw this process also, how to register in detail we saw. Google, just click on to gst.gov.in. You get a page like this. Registration, new registration. Once you click on new registration, it will ask for your PAN, email address, mobile number, and you get a OTP to proceed. This is how it looks. Registration page. Taxpayer, you have to select all these, enter your PAN. Once it's a valid PAN, you get a tick mark here. It is verified, green tick. You get a OTP to mobile and email. You can proceed. Then once you have done so much, you get a TRN, temporary registration number. Using this, within 15 days, you can fill in all the details and apply for registration. So every time you log in, you have to use the TRN initially before you get the registration number, GST registration number. So you can use the TRN and this CAPTCHA, proceed, you get a OTP. Using the OTP, you can proceed further and upload all the, you fill in all the details, any uploads has to be done, you can upload and finish the registration process. This is how the page will appear. GST registration 1. You have to click on this action, edit, fill in all the details. So once you start filling in, if you have filled completely, everything will appear in blue and it will, profile will be 100% complete. Then only you can submit it. You have to select various categories, whether you're a manufacturer, supplier, all these things you need to select. It's a very simple process. From date when this registration is required, in case you already started your business and now you're applying, you need to fill in all these details. This is all about for sales people. So once you start filling in, you get a blue, and it will be highlighted in blue, and you get a tick mark here. So you can see the profile percentage complete. How much is the? This is how it will appear. It will be highlighted in blue with a tick mark. You have to fill in all the details, business details, promoter partner details, authorized signatory, authorized representative, then principal place. You have to select the type of goods. We saw this process in detail in the earlier class using the simulation mode module. We saw that. We have to enter all these details. See, so much, it is 91% complete here. So all appearing in, highlighting in blue, highlighted in blue. It is only 99% complete. It should be 100% complete to verify and submit. You have to add your bank account details. It is not available later on. Also, you can upload. To select the top 5 commodities, or in case of services, select. Save and continue. You have to select the type of goods, or in case of services, select. Save and continue. 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 Save and case of services, again, you have to select the top 5 services. See, only when it is 100% complete, profile is 100% complete, you have to click on save and continue. You'll be directed to the verification tab. You can do the verification either by using a DSC. In case you're using a DSC, you have to first register in the portal. Otherwise, you can use the EVC code where you get a OTP to the registered Aadhaar mobile number. You get options are here available here. Submit with DSC or submit with EVC. You can use either of the one. In case you're using a DSC, this is how it will appear. Once you insert the DSC along with the expiry date, you can click on sign and submit. On successful submission, you get a message like this. System will verify and validate, and the acknowledgement will be sent after 15 minutes. You get an acknowledgement as well. You can use either the other OTP as well in case you don't have a DSC. So this is all about the registration process. Generally, it will be allotted within 3 or 7 working days. In case of any queries, they'll get back to you and you'll have to submit the relevant details. Then we discussed about all the GST returns in detail as well. GSTR1 is for your monthly sales, can be the monthly or quarterly based on the turnover. It is a return for the submission of your outward supplies. So this is how once you have got the registration number, this is how the tab will, your web page will appear where you can see the dashboard returns, the year. You have to select the filing period, and this is GSTR1. You can click on prepare online and submit the relevant details. You can click on, once everything is filled in, you can click on generate GSTR1 summary. You can preview and submit the return, monthly return. We saw in detail in B2B invoices, B2C, all these things we have discussed. HSNY summary, where it is required. So this is for each individual B2B invoices, where the supplier and buyer both are registered. Their B2B invoices will come into picture, and once you enter here, enter the details there, processed invoices will be reflected. You can enter all the details, whatever is relevant for you. We also discussed in case of any changes, you can suppose there's a mistake happened in the during the previous GSTR1, you have filed a wrong bill and later on it was cancelled. That also in the next month you can change. You can either raise a debit or credit note. In case you have raised, those details also can be entered here in the debit or credit note. In case of export invoices, for each provision is there. Based on your requirement, you will have to enter the details. So once everything is filled in, you can preview the return. First you save, preview, and then submit the return. This is about GST 1. We'll discuss about GST 3B. 3B is nothing but, we have done 1 second. HSN summary not required in all the cases. Once you have reviewed, you can submit. Either this you can use either using the DSA or EVC again. For submission, you can use any of the one. What is 2A? It is nothing but the auto drafted details will be appearing every month. We'll move on to GSTR 3B, where you claim your input tax credit based on the 2B, that is the based on the details filed by the supplier. 3B is the monthly return, which is a summary of your sales and the input tax credit, and whatever balance taxes payable, you will have to make payment. Then only you can upload form 3B. For filing 3B, again you have to go to the dashboard. In the services, there's a return. And if you click on the dashboard, you have to select the month, period, financial year and period. All these things will be appearing. You have to select GSTR 3B. This is how it will be seen once you click on 3B. Tax on outward and reverse charge supplies. It will be automatically taken from GSTR 1, then interstate supplies, eligible ITC, exempt or nil-rated GST inward supplies, interest and late fee if any applicable. Once you have entered all these details, click on Save GSTR 3B and submit. Again, here option is there for either using the file using the GSTR 3B with DSE or EVC. And we discussed about making payment in case there is a shortage. The ITC is not will not suffice for making the payment. Then you have to generate the challan and make a online payment. We have discussed about this in the earlier classes, how to make payment. Once you have filled in all these, so if the balance is not sufficient, you need to generate a challan and make payment. Once it is appearing, the balance is appearing, you can offset. You click on offset, and then you can submit the GST 3B return. You can either use the DSE or your Aadhaar, OTP, EVC, anything is fine. Even for companies, EVC will suffice. Then we discussed about CMP 08. What is CMP 08? Just a quarterly statement, which you can do it online and submit. This for composition people, CMP 08. You can select the year, return filing period. Again, it's a quarterly statement. The rest all procedure is similar to 3B. You have to enter all the relevant details and file the return. So in GST, we have discussed so far, discussed about your registration process, how to get the registration, right from getting the TRN. Once you initially log in, you get the TRN. Then it will take some time. You'll have to upload the form using your either using your DSE or EVC. Then we have seen the monthly return GSTR 1, 3B and CMP 08, CMP 08 in case of composite scheme. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we take a break now and continue, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. So students, it's 9:20. We'll take a 10 minutes break or 9:30. Ma'am, is it okay by
Yes, ma'am.
9:30 or
Yeah,
9:35?
yeah.
9:30
Fine,
will be fine.
9:30, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Fine. We'll resume by 9:30 students. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We can resume, ma'am.
Yeah. So we discussed about PAN ITR, then GST as well, TDS returns. We'll move on to customs. We had in detail discussed in the earlier class. Why do we need to study about customs duty? Where all it's applicable? There's nothing but the tax imposed on the goods when they are transported across the international borders. Various types of customs duties. Suppose you're buying something from, say, US. You're buying some goods. It will be subject to customs. Various types of customs duties. We discussed all these things in detail with examples: basic customs duty, then countervailing duty, additional customs duties, protective duty, anti-dumping, and education cess on customs duties. Mandatory documents for registration. F card, we discussed about F card, G card holders who can have that. Then H card. What's the qualification required to have all these cards and relevant exams they need to pass? We've discussed in detail in the earlier classes. What the mandatory documents, authorization letter, then license permit, then voter ID card or Aadhaar or passport. Case of shipping agents. So based on the users, authorized persons, what the documents. Then how to sign up as a new user. We discussed in detail how to get a IEC code, import export code, how to apply for it. You have to log into the iSgate portal. Click on login or sign up. Is for registration. You'll have to sign up for registration. Already you have a username, password. You can use this login, or we saw the iSgate portal also in the earlier class. First, you have to create the iSgate ID. You have to check for the availability. In case the same user ID somebody is using, you cannot have that. So for that, you need to check for the availability. Then enter your email. It is available. You can go for that name. And you have to select the type of what's the role. How are you going to register? Whether you are a consul agent or a custodian or a airlines or a custom broker. Select the role and you proceed to the registration process. Once you have filled in all this, we click on verify. Once you click on verify, automatically you will get the all these data, your PAN, you need to enter the choose the custom location, which location. Then your personal details you need to enter, your name, mobile number, and this is the we were discussing about this colored scanned colored copy of authorization letter. Then everything is in colored copy here for customs. Then your type of document, you have to select the relevant one. And here EDC will not work. DAC is compulsory. The digital certificate is compulsory here. There is no OTP option in customs. Once you have filled in the relevant details, you click on I agree and confirm. This is for using the DAC. You get a, once you click on DAC, this will be displayed. You can select the relevant certificate and click on OK button. Once you have submitted, later on you get a OTP for your email and your registered email. That OTP you need to enter here and submit. Once you have done all these things, you have used your DAC and you get a OTP on your registered mail. That also you have entered and submitted. Says you have successfully received your application and you'll be informed about the approval of the registration. This is for the F card holder, that is for the custom house agents or clearing house agents. The same procedure is applicable for a G card holder. G card holder we discussed, he is the one who works closely with the F card holder and he has the authority to sign based on the authorization of the F card holder. All these details are same. You have to fill in the relevant basic details. So you'll be wondering why registration of we cannot directly go and register ourselves. We'll have to, suppose we are going to get any goods from abroad, we'll have to route the goods through these agents only. The goods will be routed through the agents here who are working with the customs department. So this registration process is basically for them. So again, it is for the G card holder. All the details are similar. Once you have registration process is done, you get a OTP on the registered email address. You have to give the OTP and click on submit. Then in case you want to sign up as an IEC authorized person, that is import export code authorized person. Again, the process does all the registration process all similar, except for you have to select the relevant user role and type. This all basic details will be filling of the basic details is all similar, and use of DSC. Once you are done through with all these, you get a confirmation message. Then suppose any airlines who are involved in these shipping of these goods, or a shipping agent or shipping line business, all these people, in order to get registered themselves, they'll have to select the relevant role, and the rest process is all same. But here the role is very important. Which one is relevant for them, they need to select that. Basic data to be entered. Once it is done, you get a message, registration message, it's successful. It is all the same. It is for different User types. The registration process is similar. So it is the registration process similar for either your customers, agents, or shipping, or airlines, or custodians. It is all same for different categories of people working with the customs. Hope the registration process of customs is clear. You have to register in the iSCATE portal. Before that, initially, you need to get the IEC code, import export registration code. Import export code is required. This is generally applicable in case of firms where they are dealing with the export or import of goods. Otherwise, it is not applicable in the normal course of business. Then we'll move on to the next topic. EPFO, Employees Provident Fund Organization. Here we discussed in detail for whom all it is applicable, all about EPFO applicability, where there are more than 20 employees. Then it is compulsory required to register in the EPFO portal. He must obtain the registration within 1 month of attaining the strength. Supposingly, you say in the previous month, the strength was around 10. Then during the current month, the staff strength has exceeded up to 20. Such cases, the employer needs to obtain the registration under the EPFO Act. There's a separate act where you can download from the website. We discussed in the last class. You have to go through in detail the act, where the factory meaning is given. In case of registration for EPFO and ESIC, both the registration is similar. EPF and ESIC registration is similar. And what is the rate of a percentage applicable? A PF contribution, it is 12%. Both employer and employee contribution of basic salary. Where you need to register, you need to log into epfindia.gov.in. This is a website, this is a page. You can see establishment registration. You have to sign up using a, this is for already existing, already registered. Click on sign up. Will take you to the Shram Suvidha portal. You have to initially register with your name, email, and mobile number. Once you click on initially register with so much details, you get a link to your email to complete the process of registration. You have to click on that. It will take you, this is the mail which you're going to get it to your registered email. You have to click here to continue the process of registration. There's a verification code, generate OTP and 6-digit number you'll have to type here and proceed. This account will be opened. This is how it looks. Apply for new LIN. Then LIN status, know your LIN. LIN is nothing but your labor identification number. That also we discussed how to apply for labor identification number. So before proceeding to applying for EPFO, the basic thing what you need to do is apply for LIN in the Shram Suvidha portal. Here all the tabs are available. You can click on registration. There's a drop down here. Once you click on registration, apply for new registration. Establishments what you can apply. You can apply for both together in case ESI is also applicable, or apply to EPFO alone. Say submit. Need to enter all these details: establishment details, e-contacts, contact persons, identifiers, employment details, activities, attachments. Establishment details, you'll have to enter, select the relevant one. Establishment, e-contacts, all these tabs will be displayed. You'll have to enter all these details. The number of employees, drawing wages. This you need to have a separate bifurcation. We discussed earlier also where drawing wages is less than 21,000 or less. This you need to have a separate working for that. Here you need to fill in all the details. These employees earning more than 21,000. All these details you need to enter. Once you're done with all these, you have to, in case you are having branches elsewhere, those details also you need to enter. Then what are the activities the entity is undertaking? Then the attachments. Only in JPEG format. The telephone bill, all these, whatever is asked for, you need to upload. Click on the upload button. For license proof, that there'll be different options you can use, whatever is available with you. Once it is done, you get it will be highlighted in green and you get a tick mark. Establishment details updated successfully. So this is how it will appear. It will be it will just give you a summary like what all you entered now. You can view it once and click on submit. You have to click on DAC. You should have a valid DAC. Click on DAC, and there'll be a separate utility for each website. The DAC utility is different. You'll have to download the same. For GST, it is different. For income tax, it is different. So you have to download the relevant utilities from the relevant websites. Click on run. this will be displayed. This is the, you can select the DSC and type the PIN. Once you are done, it shows common registration submitted successfully. So you have submitted the registration form.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, your screen is stuck at customs duty. Please move forward now, the screen.
You, it's been long. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll unshare and share it.
No, ma'am, you can log out from that this, and then you can log in once again.
1 second. You're not able
It's
to see
moving,
the.
ma'am, now. Yes, ma'am, it's moving. Move ahead, ma'am.
Okay, 1 second. Now we are able to see.
It's showing page 293, ma'am.
293 is okay. Yeah, fine. Now you're able to see, no, this EPF4 registration.
Yes, ma'am. Only this page is visible. If you can move ahead, means scroll up and down, then let me check, ma'am.
Now I'm doing it. Are you able to see, ma'am?
No, no, ma'am.
Now is it visible? EPF4?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, you
Yeah.
just unshare and share. That would be better, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now it is. Now the screen was visible.
No?
Now it has gone, ma'am.
1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Visible now.
Yes. So we were discussing about the EPF4 registration process. Once and how to get a LIN number. LIN number is compulsory for applying for EPF4 registration. So you have to use a DSC, affix the DSC and then upload the registration. Relevant documents need to be uploaded. Complete the registration process. We were here somewhere. Yeah. Yes. Once the registration process is complete, you get a message like this. You can use your DSC. Yeah. Common registration submitted successfully. You get it like this. And there's a mail you're going to receive. You get acknowledgement number along with your LIN number. Everything will be sent. This is all about EPF for registration. We'll move on to ESIC registration. That is very much similar to EPF4 registration. Same Shram Suvidha portal. Only the criteria is different. Here the factory definition. That's a separate act we discussed in the last class. We can download ESI Act for better understanding. And how to apply. Ma'am, are you able to see the ESIC file now?
Yes, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Okay. So it is very much similar to EPF4 registration. You need to sign up using your mail ID, mobile number. Initially, if you're doing for the first time, you need to use all these things to sign up. You get a mail. Once you sign up with this, you get a mail to your registered email address. You have to click on this link to continue your registration process further. You get a OTP, click on generate OTP, you click enter the OTP and click on continue. That will activate your registration portal and you need to fill in the relevant details. That's all again the same how we did for EPFO. Same registration process. All these things to be kept in handy for you to enter the information. These details are required where wages are 21,000 less than male, female, contract workers. All these details are required, which you need to enter here. Either you can apply ESIC and EPU together, EPFO, or if only one is applicable, you can choose either of the one. Generally, ESIC and EPFO both way, where ESI is applicable, EPFO will also be applicable, but in cases where it's not a factory or seasonal factory only, PF will be applicable, EPFO will be applicable. All these licenses or all these things you need to attach the PDF format, whatever format they've said, JPEG, PNG or PDF format. Once you have done, will appear, you get a tick mark highlighted in green. You can just cross check once again the entire registration form, whatever you have filled in. Then click on submit. EPFO and ESI registration process is similar. Once you have submitted the registration form, you get a mail. So this a message will be displayed along with the LIN number. Here, these both are EPFO and PF registration processes. Similar, there is no change. But only the criteria is in case of ESIC. It says any seasonal factory and company having more than 10 employees. So here factory definition is different for ESIC. That's what I was mentioning. Where ESIC is completely, PF is also applicable, but in case of PF, it is not mandatory that they should have ESIC also. So this factory definition, we saw this flowchart in the last class when we were discussing what is a factory. In case it fulfills the definition of factory, yes. Whether it is seasonal, in case if it is not seasonal, then whether 10 or more employers are employed. If it is yes, then wage of the worker is not more than 21,000, then covered under ESI scheme. If there are less than 10 employees, then they don't come in that scope of ESIC registration. Hope so much is cleared. As of now, we discussed about PAN, EPAN, then ITR, then TDS, GST registration, customs registration, then EPFO registration, ESIC registration as well. We'll move on to DSC now. So all this time we were discussing about DSC, where it is required everywhere for EPFO registration, ESI registration, everywhere it is required. So having known the importance of DSC, it is nothing but it will suffice. It will be replaced in place of your physical signature. It's an identity. We have seen what are the advantages of DAC, cost effective, legally defensible. Why legally defensible? Because it is an alternate to your physical signature. So anybody can misuse your DAC as well. So you should be very careful with the DAC. And it's time saving as well. More control of your documents and improved efficiency, advanced security, then enhanced corporate social responsibility, better time management, yes, obviously. So ease of doing the work with the help of DAC. All these are the advantages. So how do you apply for a DAC? There are so many partners for this. One is eMudra. So initially when you're applying, you can sign up. This is for already existing registered users. You can log into the eMudra portal. This is for already registered users. So how to enroll and apply for DAC? You should have already enrolled yourself with the eMudra, then only you'll have access for all this. There is some certain lump sum payable as advance and you get a registration. There's a process for that. Individuals cannot directly apply for DAC. What the things the applicant should have? He should have a photo, mobile number, email address, identity proof, PAN card, and Aadhaar card. These are the basic documents required for applying for a DAC. They're telling what the it should be in the JPG or PNG or PDF format alone. The documents which need to be uploaded. So you have to select the mode, whether you're applying for individual or an organization, for an individual, for an organization, and what is the mode you're using. You're using PAN, or you can as well use offline Aadhaar XML, any of the one. Generally, this is more comfortable. Click on continue. Applicant details. Once you click on continue, you get a page will be displayed like this. PAN name as an Aadhaar, all these things you need to select, enter the relevant details, certificate details. So once you're complete with the applicant details, you're done with applicant details, there is certificate details. You'll have to select what is that you want, for which you're applying, which category of certificate. We discussed about class 2, class 3 signatures, all DACs in detail in the earlier class. Certificate type, you select signature, whether you want encrypted, both, and certificate validity, whether you want for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, and click on proceed. This is about certificate details. You need to upload the passport size photograph, PAN card, and address proof, your original address proof. And what is the desired username? This is for the DAC. That is the dongle what we use. For that, what's the username? Generally, this is the name of the person. Desired PIN. You can give any PIN, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, and confirm the PIN for the DAC too. You have to use the DAC in future. For that, what is the PIN? You can change the PIN as well in future if required. OTP validation. You get a OTP to your email ID and your phone registered phone number. Then authenticate and e-sign. E-sign and submit. After this, you get a mail for the registered email that your video verification is pending. You'll have to click on that and you have to record the video wherein you need to show your original PAN and Aadhaar. It should be legibly seen. And you need to tell for what purpose you're going to you're applying for the DSC. So these are the questions will be asked. Have you applied for a DSC, name of the PAN, date of birth, and you need to show your identity proof. All these things you need to record in the video. Click on Manage Applications. So once you click on Manage Application, you can see whether KYC is done or not. You can view here for each individual. Once it is done, this is how it shows. You click on View. What are the process complete? Mobile verification process done. Email also done. This is CA verification pending. Video recording is also success. And this is also done. CA here is certificate authority, the certifying authority. The certifying authority has to see the details, billing details, and confirm and approve that. Once the certifying authority approves that, then only your DSC will be approved. You can download it from the link here. You can download. There's an option in the dongle that will be provided, and later on you can start using the DSC. This is for the agent approval. No individual can directly apply for DSC. It will be for the agents who are in partner with the eMudra or any other DSC, any other certificate authority, any other valid certifying authority for issuing of DSC. Hope the process of applying for DSC is clear for you guys. It's a very simple process, but you need to have obtained the registration from the relevant certifying authority. With this, we come to the end of our revision session. Any questions you can ask?
Yes, students, if you have any questions, please post it now. Ma'am, there are no questions right now.
Okay, ma'am.
So can we wind up, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We can wind up, I think. If there are no questions, we'll wind up the class.
Sure, ma'am, sure. So as there are no questions, we'll wind up the session. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am, for this session, the revision session or recap session. So Students will meet again tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the recap session. Tomorrow is a recap session for costing principles and cost statements. So be there by 8 a.m. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all, students.